Hi everyone, my name is Emily. Welcome back to another YouTube video. So today's video is all about college advice from a college senior. This is advice that I wish I had known going into college, that I just want to share with someone who is either going to college or already in college and could just use some random advice. So I asked some of my friends and we kind of all came to a collective about some advice that we've learned along the way. So let's get into it. I've kind of broken it up into different sections. So I have scheduling, I have class, and then I have social. So the first topic under scheduling that we're going to talk about is using some sort of calendar. So for me, I use an electronic calendar and then I use a paper calendar. In my paper calendar goes all of my assignments that I have due for that week. So homework, I have an internship, so I write down the tasks I need to do for my internship. And I really like this calendar because it has a to-do list, so I can just easily check it off and it makes me super happy. In my electronic calendar, I put really important things that I need reminders for. So for example, about 2 weeks before an exam, I will have a calendar notification pop up to remind me to start studying if I haven't already, so I have plenty of time to reach out to my professors or just set up a study schedule so that I feel like I have enough time to ace that exam. I also like to time block in my electronic calendar. So for me, that really helps because I still get those notifications on my phone whenever it's time to move on to the next task. So that really helps with time blocking. The second piece of advice that I have under scheduling is to plan your week out in advance. So Sunday night, I sit down and I reconcile my paper planner and my electronic planner for any discrepancies. I write what I need to in both. And then that's when I'll kind of time block my week out because it helps me to study. So whether those tips help you or not, those are just some of the things that I do for scheduling. The next topic I have is class. One of the most important things that you can do as a college student is go to office hours and start going to them early on in this semester because that helps you to not fall behind, and also the professor gets to know your face and they're more likely to help you during crunch time, during exam season, and they want to help you, so just start going early. For me, every time I've gone to office hours, there's been hardly anybody there, so it's really quick. I can ask my questions, get some face-to-face time with the professor, and then leave. Super easy, my questions are answered, and they know that I'm really interested in getting my grades up. Another thing is sit in the front row. Sitting in the front row helps me to pay attention because I really like to online shop, I like to scroll on Pinterest, I like to play Minecraft. And so sitting in the front, I don't want people to see me die in Minecraft. I don't want people to see what I'm buying online. I don't want people to see my text messages. And so sitting in the front row really encourages me to get off my computer, take my notes either with pen and paper or type my notes out, but it helps me to just really focus in on what the professor is saying. It also, again, gets you face-to-face time with the professor, especially if you're raising your hand, asking questions, being really engaged. Because most of the time when I sit on the front row, I feel like the professor makes direct eye contact with only those in the front row. So sit in the front row first week of class and just kind of stick to the same seat too, because again, the professor will see you in that same seat every week and they'll see that you're invested in your education and that you want to be there and that you are there every single class. Okay, 8 a.m.s. Everyone has their opinions on them. For me, I loved 8 a.m.s, even though I didn't think that I would, because getting up at 8 a.m. for a class, I would stack it, so I would have classes from 8 a.m. to noon and then not have anything for the rest of the day, which allowed me to go and work out. It allowed me to get some more study hours in. It also helped me to say no to those late night events that I wasn't really feeling because my excuse was that I had an 8 a.m. It also helped my sleep schedule to get back on track so that I was getting good amount of sleep because I knew I'd be tired once that 8 a.m. rolled around. It's not for everybody, but I would just suggest trying it at least once in your college career. I wouldn't do 8 a.m.s every day. I would stack them so that I was doing 8 a.m.s Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Tuesday, Thursday's class would start around 10 for me. So if I wanted to sleep in on those days, I could. But again, it just helped me to really get more study time in and kind of invest more time in myself because I was up early and I finished class early. My last piece of advice for class is to have a goal and stick to it. So for me, my goal freshman year was to get an A in calculus because I'd been bad at calculus in high school and I knew that if I could get an A in college, that I'd be able to do anything. And so I went to study hours, I went to math lab, I had a friend who was taking it at the same time with me and we would study together, and I really just pushed myself to stay up late and to study super hard for those exams, and I ended up doing really well in that class. And so have a goal, stick to it. It doesn't have to be, oh, get all A's, because sometimes that can be really overwhelming. It can just be get an A in this class, get a 93 on this exam, study for 3 hours a day. It could really be something simple, but having a goal to work towards will really help you in school. The next topic is study techniques. So I only have 2 that I've kind of figured out really work for me. So the first one is hot girl vocab walk. So what I do is I write down vocab terms on flashcards, or I write down PowerPoint slides on flashcards, and then I will go and walk a couple miles around my campus just going over and over and over those flashcards. For me, combining exercise and studying together really works. It helps me to remember it better. It also helps me to not just sit behind a desk passively studying. Something about walking and flipping those cards over and saying them out loud really works for me. The second study technique that I have is to teach out loud as if you're talking to a beginner. I line up my stuffed animals and I'll teach to them, or I'll find a whiteboard and pretend I'm in a classroom and talk out loud. This really helps me because it really highlights what I do and don't know. Because if I'm able to simplify the information that I am learning and teach it as if I'm teaching a beginner, something just clicks in my brain that helps me to remember it during an exam. The last topic I'll be talking about is social. On the first day of school, get out of your dorm, go make friends, get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because college is about stretching yourself and growing, and you can't do that if you're stuck inside your dorm because you're too afraid to go out. Trust me, I get it. I was the exact same way. I was way more comfortable with staying in my dorm, but if I hadn't, then I wouldn't have the friends that I do. I wouldn't be a part of the clubs I'm a part of, and it wouldn't have been a college experience. Okay, the next one I'm gonna talk about is join a club that you're not good at. Because again, you wanna get comfortable with being uncomfortable. College is about growth. It's about experiencing new things. And so for me, this was joining a leadership club because I knew that I wasn't good at leadership. I knew that it could be something that would benefit me later on in life. And I knew that it would stretch my boundaries. And so by joining this club, I learned a lot, not only about myself, but I was also able to gain friends, get new experiences, and I have a bunch of alumni that I can ask questions of, have those connections later on in life that could get me a job. So get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Next is go to any and all campus events. Most of the time they're free. Most of the time you can get free food or free swag or anything like that. Plus, it's a great opportunity to make friends because a lot of people who go to those events are looking to make friends, are looking to be social, especially the Welcome Back Week events, the Homecoming Week events. So just go to the events. You're not losing anything, but if you don't go, you're not gaining anything either. So go to the events. They're free, they're fun, and you can always leave if you're not having a good time. If you feel unsafe, if you feel uncomfortable, you can leave at any time, but just try. Just try. That's all I'm asking. That's all I have for you today. If you have any college advice that you'd want to share with someone coming into college or someone already in college, please feel free to drop it down below in the comments. And if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. I love you. Bye.